Northern governors, traditional rulers meet in Kaduna over insecurity. Others. Aiku slams EFCC over detention of ex-lawmaker. Nigerians raise concerns over need to ensure fair market pricing. On the foreign scene, South Africa rearrests Nigerian pastor acquitted of rape. Good evening. Welcome to Trust News Update. I am Chiamaka Mafo. Thank you for joining us. Now, Northern governors and traditional rulers meet in Kaduna over pressing issues affecting the region. The meeting is taking place at the Sarah Kashim Ibrahim Government House, Kaduna. Key issues such as the lingering insecurity bedeviling the north, poverty, a high rate of out-of-school children, and other socio-economic challenges affecting the region will also be discussed at the meeting. Earlier on Friday, Kano State Governor Dikko presided over a strategic meeting of the Northwest Governors Forum in Kaduna State. The meeting aimed at deepening regional collaboration is being attended by Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal, Jigawa State Governor Umar Namadi, Kaduna State Governor Ubasani, and the Director General of the Forum, Hajj Mariam Musa Yahaya.
We came in, we have been able to work closely together as governors of the Northwest, looking at some of the developmental indices affecting our region, particularly the negative ones. I'm talking about areas of insecurity, things to do with issue of poverty, issue of unemployment, and most importantly, our collective resolve to have position on how we can work closely together in addressing the problem of insecurity, because we believe no state can do it alone, and we believe we will need synergy for us to work together. And another area that we believe we need to work together is trying to work closely with the development partners.
The meeting was very fruitful. We had a long discussions on issues that has bordered to some challenges affecting our region, and we have had presentation from the Northwest Development Commission, as well as the Federal Medical University Funtua for the region, as well as issues that affect drug abuse and how to prevent the excessive use of drugs in the region, and other collaboration. And it was very fruitful and very insightful, and we have all agreed to work together towards the issues that were raised in the meeting to be able to bring the necessary development that is needed in the region.
In Borno State, the Governor Babagana Zulum has ordered an immediate ban on the sale of premium motor spirit in filling stations across Bama local government area, including Bama Town and Banki. The ban was issued after consultations with security agencies in the state and is aimed at addressing the prevalent security challenges in the state. A statement on Saturday by the Special Advisor to the Governor on Media, Dauda Ilia, said the measure is part of the state government's strategic response to counterinsurgency operations. He warned that anyone found violating the directive would face the full weight of the law. Governor Zulum reiterated his administration's commitment to restoring lasting peace in the state and called for the support and cooperation of citizens in the ongoing fight against insurgency. Weeks after the deadly accident that killed 5 people and left many others injured during an Easter procession at the Biliri axis of Gambri State, the Christian Association of Nigeria has charged organizers of any future procession to work with security operatives to prevent similar occurrences. During a condolence visit to the organizers, the Khan delegation condemned the act, which it described as intentional, but however commended the swift action by the authorities to contain the development. Hassan Kooli has more.
While visiting the victims at the specialist and federal teaching hospitals in Gambri, the Christian Association of Nigeria said it is saddened by the tragedy. It also decried the incessant accidents, especially during the region's processions, saying it needs urgent and comprehensive action to prevent families from losing loved ones.
There's no doubt this is a very, very dark happening, terrible happening. And you could see that many of the bereaved families that lost their loved ones are in very great pains, real pain and sorrow. I mean, it's bad enough and painful enough for people to lose their loved ones. But when, like in one of the cases, the family had waited for a long, long time before the Lord finally blessed them with the gift of a daughter. And this daughter, at the age of 19, her life was cut short, and they don't have any other daughter again. You can imagine the trauma of what they are going through.
According to the religious body, it is imperative that churches and organizers of religious gatherings work closely with security personnel to prevent a future occurrence of such tragedy.
I don't think we should be scared. I think, one, we should be more prayerful. Two, we should make sure that we work during such future processions. We work very closely with security men to ensure that such individuals are not given or allowed any chance to commit such heinous crimes again. I believe that with the Christians leaders, the procession leaders, working much more closely with the security men, this will have been averted. We don't know what went wrong in terms of the security, but I'm sure the findings of this committee will already have recommendations as how these kind of things can be avoided and prevented in future processions.
In recent years, vehicles have been killing people in religious processions, sparking calls for stricter monitoring of such processions by security operatives. Hassan Kohli, Trust TV News, Gambri.
The Kano State Police Command on Friday confirmed the arrest of a notorious drug dealer from Tudunyola quarters in the state. The State Commissioner of Police, Ibrahim Bakuri, disclosed this during a press briefing at the police headquarters in Mumbai, Kano on Friday. Bakuri revealed that the suspect had been using vehicles bearing fake government plate numbers to carry out his illicit operations.
Tremendous success has been recorded. Notable among them include the recovery of large consignment of illicit drug and arrest of notorious drug leader named Suleiman Danwawu, male, 32 years old, of Tudunyola quarters, Kano. The suspect appeared to be recidivist and an unrepentant serial offender, as he was earlier on arrested on 31st July 2022 by the command with 500 cartons of the same suspected tramadol tablet and charged to court accordingly.
The 2023 presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Aiku Abubakar, has berated Economic and Financial Crimes Commission over the arrest and continued detention of a former member of the House of Representatives, Mohammed Kazuri. In a statement posted via his official X handle on Saturday, Aiku described Kazuri's continued detention as a brazen disregard for due process. He also accused the EFCC of abusing its powers and operating outside the bounds of the Nigerian Constitution, likening Kazuri's arrest to a pattern of lawlessness and political repression. Aiku drew parallels between Kazuri's arrest and the earlier case of social commentator Martins Vincent Ose, popularly known as Very Dark Man, who was recently detained and released only after public backlash. Describing the EFCC's silence as deafening, Aiku noted that Kazuri was being targeted for his outspoken criticism of the Tinubu government. The Lagos State government has begun the demolition of some structures built in Megamond Estate, Oval Estate, and Lekki County, built in the right-of-way of the Ikota River alignment. The State Commission for Environment and Water Resources, State Commissioner Tokumbo Wahab, disclosed this via his X handle. He mentioned that the demolition began on Friday, May 9. Some structures within Oral Estate, West End, Mega Mounds and Lekki County have been earmarked for demolition by the state government for being in the right-of-way of the river. The state government mentioned that the demolition being done is part of measures to help address flooding in the state, as well as protect lives and properties.
She's back. She's back.
Now, the federal government has booked down a total of 64,188 Nigerians for this year's Holy Pilgrimage. The Vice President Kashim Shettima disclosed this on Friday at the flag-off inaugural airlift of pilgrims from Nigeria to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for the 2025 Hajj. The grand ceremony at Sam Mbakwe International Cargo Airport, Owerri, Imo State, marked the airport's first international flight. Flagging off the inaugural airlift, Shettima applauded Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State for promoting unity, religious tolerance, mutual respect and inclusion by hosting the inaugural flight ceremony in his state, noting that the gesture is emblematic of Nigeria unfolding into harmony with itself as a nation. The Vice President conveyed President Bola Tinubu's goodwill to the pilgrims and cautioned them against overlooking the dignity of the Nigerian flag they are carrying, even as he reminded them that the success of the Hajj operation rests on their shoulders. Osho State Governor Ademola Adeleke has assured that the state Hajj camp would be completed in October this year. The governor said this during a special prayer and lecture as part of activities preparing the Muslim pilgrims from Osun for the 2025 Hajj exercise in Saudi Arabia. He charged the Muslim pilgrims on Hajj 2025 in Mecca to stay focused on Hajj rites and to also pray for peace and progress of the state. Adeleke appealed to them to shun any act capable of tarnishing the image and reputation of the state, urging them to be good ambassadors of Osho State in Saudi during the Hajj operations.
That Osho State doesn't have a Hajj camp. I said, what? And we made it the next day, we just came over, like play, I mean, chairman. And then we laid the foundation. Here we are today to thank God Almighty that it has gone to advanced stage. According to the Commissioner of Home Affairs, Commissioner Rashid, they said by October, these people should commission this place, and which is going to be phase 1. Then in phase 2, we're going to have hostels where some people, when they come for Hajj camp, they can stay, and we want them to really be comfortable, and that is what is happening.
Moving to other stories, Kano State Governor Abba Yusuf has facilitated the release of 8 female inmates from the Gurundutse Correctional Center, with pregnant women and nursing mothers topping the list of beneficiaries. Among the released inmates were 2 pregnant women and 2 nursing mothers who had been held for minor offences but were unable to pay their fines and compensation. The governor settled their dues in full, securing their freedom and offering them a fresh start. The governor was accompanied by key government officials as he inspected the living conditions of inmates, pledging his administration's commitment to prison reform and inmate welfare. The governor's spokesperson, Sanusi Baturi, in a statement issued on Friday, confirmed the release and reiterated that the intervention was part of a broader plan to support the rehabilitation and reintegration of inmates. Speaking to the inmates, Governor Yusuf encouraged them to view their incarceration as a temporary setback and to embrace change. A 2-year-old girl trafficked from Abuja to Aba for 100,000 naira has been rescued by the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP. A statement by the agency on Friday said the suspect arrested by the Department of State Services, DSS, allegedly sold her for 100,000 naira. According to the statement, the girl who was trafficked from Abuja to Aba in February of 2025 was rescued by NAPTIP Abia Command on May 8, 2025. NAPTIP said the suspected trafficker is alleged to have worked with 3 trafficking syndicates from Abuja and sold the child to a buyer for 100,000 naira. NAPTIP called on the biological parents or any relatives of the child to urgently contact the agency. Nigerians have been speaking on the need to promote fair and competitive markets to promote the rights and protect the rights of consumers. Speaking to Trust TV in Makurdi, the Benue State capital, our correspondent reports that ignorance or seeming lack of interest on the side of consumers to pursue their rights has caused the relevant authorities to relax measures that could ensure fair market prices. Here's more in this report.
Makurdi, the Benue State capital, is gradually emerging as the center of commercial activities for diverse manufacturing companies within the central region of Nigeria. Produce and products marketers bring in their wares from different parts of the country to Benue and sell them at their discretion in terms of prices, without taking the consumers and the economic implications of such unregulated price fixing on them into extension. Buyers find themselves at the mercy of any price regime from the manufacturers and marketers. This has thrown open the need for active consumers' protection on the part of relevant authorities. Unfortunately, not many Nigerians know their rights, hence they tend to be exploited by companies and service providers, while those who are aware attribute their lack of interest towards seeking redress for a bad product or service to the difficult justice system and the cost of litigation involved in fighting for their rights. Some consumers accuse law enforcement agencies of providing cover for substandard or illegal products to the detriment of safety and prices regulation in Nigerian markets.
Nigerian consumers are left at the mercy of the service or product providers, because at every point in time we have been, our rights have been bastardized, our rights have been trampled upon. But the most critical problem is that, first of all, Nigerian consumers don't even know the right because of lack of sensitization.
There are times where I buy certain goods and when they are damaged or they are expired, I don't even know what to do about them. So I normally dispose of them. And if I know the relevant authorities that are in charge of this and where their offices are situated within the environment that I live in, I think I can address my grievances in the appropriate direction.
There is a particular product of which I bought from the market. I ordered it from Onitsha, and when the product got to me, I called. It's a battery. When the product got to me, I called the supplier. I said, this product you sent at delivery, this product is not even picking, it's not even working completely. He said, no, this was what they checked it. That was I not the one that broke the seal, that there is nothing he can do about it. To let you know, I let it go. But that was a huge aspect of money.
Timothy Amartimi is a consumer protection lawyer and human rights activist. He says consumer rights must be protected, insisting that their rights are enforceable in the court of law.
Yes, these rights are enforceable. In fact, we have the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Tribunal that enforces these rights. So, number one, when a customer is aggrieved or his rights are violated by a manufacturer or producer, such a person has a right to lodge a complaint to the commission. Maybe because of our bad history in terms of consumer protection in Nigeria, most consumers just allow things to fly or go without seeking further remedies,
Amartimi says there is a need to galvanize Nigerians through awareness creation to protect and preserve consumer rights, calling on relevant authorities to expedite actions that will ensure that the presence of such consumer protection agencies is felt by Nigerians.
What is offered to the consumer should be safe for use, should be fit for purpose. So the moment you are sold a product that does not serve the aim or the advertised goal for that product, you should have the right to complain. And then there are remedies, right to remedy. So when your right as a consumer is abused or violated, there are remedies available to you for you to seek redress.
Efforts to get officials of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission for comment were not successful. However, it is hoped that relevant authorities will intensify efforts to create more awareness while playing the intermediary role between consumers and marketers.
In business, at least 119,000 user accounts in Nigeria have been compromised so far in 2025. A report by cybersecurity firm Surfshark has revealed the company ranks Nigeria's third in sub-Saharan Africa for total breaches since 2004, with 23.2 million compromised accounts. A data breach means that an intruder copied and leaked user data such as names, surnames, email addresses, passwords, etc. Surfshark's analysis indicates an 85% drop in the number of leaked accounts in Nigeria from Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, in line with the global trend that saw leaked accounts plunge 93% year-on-year from 973.37 million in Q1 2024 to just 68.3 million in Q1 2025. Still, on average, one Nigerian account has been leaked every minute in 2025. Of these, 7.3 million are unique email addresses, meaning the average user's email has been leaked multiple times. Around 13 million passwords were exposed alongside Nigerian accounts, putting 56% of affected users at risk of account takeover, identity theft, extortion, or other cyber crimes. Statistically, 10 out of every 100 Nigerians have been reportedly impacted by data breaches. Away from Nigeria, a Nigerian televangelist recently acquitted of multiple rape charges has been rearrested on immigration offences, South African police said on Saturday. Timothy Omotosho was released last month, 9 years after he was jailed to be tried on charges of raping and sexually assaulting several young women from his church. His acquittal drew anger across South Africa after the judge found that while the pastor's explanations appeared improbable, state prosecutors had mishandled the case against him. Immigration authorities and police arrested Omotosho in the town of East London on Saturday morning just after church. Police Commissioner General Fanny Mesemola told journalists the 66-year-old pastor at the Jesus Dominion International Church based in South Africa was arrested in 2017 on 32 charges, including rape, sexual exploitation, and human trafficking. Several young women, some of whom were still in school at the time, testified that they were handpicked by Omotosho, who would pray for forgiveness after each encounter with them. In sports, the draw for the finals of the 31st edition of FIBA Afro Basket Women's Championship Angola 2025 has been made. The 16 participating teams have been divided into 4 groups of 4 teams each, with the top 2 teams in each group advancing into the knockout stages of the competition. 2015 champions Nigeria are in cracked Group B with back-to-back defending champions Tunisia, Cameroon and Madagascar. In Group C, host and 11-time African champions Angola have a date to keep with heavyweight South Sudan, Guinea and Libya. Cote d'Ivoire, that is going for the third heaven, DR Congo, Cape Verde and Rwanda make up Group A, while Senegal with 5 diadems will have to contend with their West African neighbours Mali in Group D. The most successful North African side, Egypt and Uganda, are the other countries in that same group. That concludes news updates at this time. For more of our news programs and documentaries, please follow us on our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I'm Chamaka Onafo. Thank you for joining us at this time.